Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And it's I'm reporting back from day 2, just about to start day 3 at the amazing Date with Destiny with the incredible Tony Robbins and all of the amazing people at the event. And so just reporting on yesterday. Here's me thinking that we're going to have an earlier night because the first night ended, I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m. Well, yesterday was even longer. I didn't get to bed till 3 a.m. and we have just been pumping it out. Like, it has been electric. It's been amazing. My body is just like, doesn't know what hit it. Definitely my voice. I'm surprised by it right now, but I'm pretty sure by the end of it, it's going to be dead. But I really wanted to just share again, like, so much value in yesterday's seminar. So it's really hard for me to pick like what I'm even going to share with you guys. But I did have a couple of things that I wanted to just run through. So one of the main things that happened yesterday was there was this intervention, and any of you guys who have seen I'm Not Your Guru on Netflix, then you would have had a little bit of a taste of the interventions. But this woman stood up, and this main one in particular I wanted to talk about because I've never experienced this at any of Tony's events before, and ultimately what it was this woman did not have a breakthrough. And every other event I've been to, like, people just like break through every challenge, and this woman in particular, oh my gosh, like, it was really hard to watch. This went on for probably about an hour or so, and she just couldn't let go of her victim story. And she just was meeting her need for significance. So we all have a need for significance, a need to feel special, important. But what happens is, a lot of the time, when we don't have a healthy, resourceful way of feeling special and important, we find a major problem that we identify with, and it meets our need no matter how unhealthily or how painfully, through significance. And this is what this woman could not let go of. She was, really, really trying hard to convince Tony, who was her hero, of just how good a person she is and how sorry we should feel kind of for her. And look, she did have a story where I had so much compassion. Everybody in the room had so much compassion for what she'd experienced. But what she experienced happened 33 years ago, and she has practically ruined her relationship with her husband because she blamed him for something that he had nothing to do with for 33 years, and her relationship has fallen apart. And anyway, I had never heard any Tony talking to this woman, like really breaking her, like really breaking through to her, because if you think about it from the outside in, seeing the way that Tony was calling her out, and it would seem really harsh to an outsider, but ultimately he had to do what he was doing because she was surrounded, and you might see yourself like this as well, surrounded by people and friends who would keep her victimized, keep her enabled by her story. Oh yes, poor you, you poor thing. That you're stuck, you're such a victim. Oh, you poor thing. And ultimately it has made her able to connect with people only through this painful story, which has torn her life apart. And nobody can be happy when, your life is about a problem. You might be meeting your need, but you can't be happy. And so Tony gave her so many opportunities to really break through, and she just kept coming back to being a victim. And it was really immensely challenging to ultimately just watch, because we just so badly wanted her to break through. And this beautiful other woman in the room, throughout watching this, many people were having their own breakthroughs. Tony would say that you can either be an example of life, like a great life, or you can be a warning in life, and of what not to do. And she was definitely a warning for so many people in that room. And this one beautiful woman in particular, you know, she really resonated with the story that this woman had been through, and watching her continue to hold on to her victim story, ultimately, wow, like she had this major breakthrough and went the complete other way and realized how much of a victim she'd been, and she was empowered because she was about to stop staying stuck in a problem, and she was actually about to go for something extraordinary in her own life. And that was the beauty that came from this other woman being totally stuck in her victim story. And ultimately there was many other people, but you know, it was, you could tell, the whole 5,000 people in this event could tell that the initial woman was so inauthentic. You know, she couldn't get past, and you know, at her core, she's a beautiful human being, but she was so caught up in her own victim story and being so inauthentic. She was performing. She was trying to get something, you know, and it was, Tony was really calling her out, like, you know, telling her, you know, that it's just me, like that's her whole story, and she couldn't get outside of herself. And ultimately, whenever you are focused on yourself, you suffer. You know, you have to get outside of yourself and focus on others if you want to end your suffering. And she was so caught up in her own suffering here. But this other woman who had the breakthrough, you know, she was so genuine. It was so beautiful to see her transformation and her authenticity and her genuineness, and the whole 5,000 people, you know, could feel that and were celebrating with her. Whereas with this other woman, you know, there was no authenticity. I'm sure she doesn't even know who she really is, and she's so caught up with meeting her needs through problems that she was just, you know, you know yourself when somebody's being authentic and when somebody's just not. You can't resonate with it, and so this was a pretty full-on experience. So just wanted to share that with you. And I mean, I could go on and on and on and on about all the amazing stuff, but the other one small piece I wanted to just mention to you guys was another process that we went through, and I did this back in 2013 at my first ever date with Destiny. And what it is that every single one of us is carrying around what Tony Robbins would call a primary question. This question is what you filter your entire life through. So you're always asking yourself this question. So some examples of, you know, people's primary questions might be, what's wrong with me? Or why am I not good enough? Or how can I win? Or how can I be successful? Or how can I be better? Or what are people thinking about me? And there's all these different types of questions that determine our entire experience of life, and they're happening all of the time. We're always constantly asking this question. And back in 2013, I discovered what mine was, which was, who do I need to be in order to be loved? You know, who do I need to be loved? And, you know, if you think about a question like that that determines the course of your life, ultimately it presupposes that you're not lovable just as you are. It presupposes that you have to transform and be somebody different to who you are in order to be loved. And so you can see kind of the experience that would generate. And for any of you guys who know my story, you know that was a whole determining factor as to why I was on the completely wrong path in my life. A year and a half out of receiving my law degree, becoming a lawyer, and finally getting to an event like this that made me realize why I was doing it. And, you know, things like this primary question that was the driver. When we can shift what we filter our life through in terms of the questions that we ask ourselves in every moment, then we can shift our lives. So bringing that subconscious primary question to the surface and determining what a new empowering question is, I really, I'm in the transition of really solidifying this at the moment, but the question that I sort of want to replace my primary question with, which is, see if I can remember it, but it's how can I authentically add even more value and experience even more freedom and depth? And that really incorporates, you know, my top values of really being authentic, really adding value, really being free, having total freedom, and also experiencing depth of connection, not just surface level connection. So just to give you a bit of an example there, but I'd challenge you guys to think about, what is the question that I'm constantly asking myself? If I really thought about it, what question do I ask myself more than any other question that determines my life? And what could I transform that into that would be much more empowering? So anyway, I need to get off. I need to get to the event, but I just want to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join me. So if you have any questions or comments or any of it, please let me know. And I've got Marco and Humayun and Luke and Abina and Ibrahima and Robin and Mark. How long is each day? Well, we've been starting today, starts at about 12, and I don't know, but like yesterday it was 10:30 till 3 a.m. and the night before that it was like 11 a.m. till like 2 a.m. They're really long, and it just depends. Yesterday went so long because we had long interventions, and so you just got to roll with it. Part of this program is proving what you can do outside of your normal existence. Like, we just keep going on little to no sleep. We don't have any breaks. If you don't bring food, like, you got to just snack on the go, and you're jumping around and you're going crazy, and it's amazing what we can actually do when we take ourselves out of our current existence. But appreciate the question, Mark and Kuipers and Luke. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. I'm grateful that you're finding value here. And Kuno and Lucy and Ray and Choikri, probably said it totally wrong, Stephen and Adeline. And Stephen, you know what? I'm not really getting to enjoy the warmer weather because it is absolutely freezing in this convention center. So we've got like all our jackets, coats, beanies, everything on in there. So I only get a really tiny snapshot, but I'm enjoying it while I get to. And Sam and Aaron and Daniel, absolutely. And Jessica and Kuno, how could she do the breakthrough? Yeah, great question. So we also had to brainstorm about how to do this breakthrough. And ultimately, I'm going to have to pull up here in a minute, but ultimately what she really needed to do was get outside of herself and work out, because she wanted, her relationship was the problem, and actually work out how she was going to give to her husband, who she had blamed her entire existence in that relationship for 33 years, and torn the relationship apart. But she also needed to take full ownership and responsibility, and she needed to decide that she was no longer going to be a victim. She was going to be a victor. So she was going to be empowered by this experience, find the value, find the lesson, and decide never again was she going to continue buying into her victim story and playing so small. So that's just a really quick snippet to give you, because I'm about to jump out of the car. But Jessica, hi to you, and Doris and Aaron, I love the analogy performing. Great, thanks for sharing. Absolutely, it was total performance. And Hassani, I still need to watch that I'm Not Your Guru. Great to see you having so many breakthroughs. Thank you for sharing this. Playing the victim will never lead us to the lives of abundance that we're looking for. Please keep learning and sharing as much as you can with all of us. Thank you so much, Hassani. And absolutely, and make sure you watch I'm Not Your Guru. Brilliant. It's like the tip of the iceberg compared to what it actually is, but definitely gives you a good idea. And Jabs and Anish and Gosia and Petro and Jagadish and Ramon and Dan and Napastorn and Shane and Lucian. You often feel unworthy of love. Okay, I wish I had some more time to really talk into this with you. I'm about to jump out of the car in like 30 seconds. I've got Jolene and Lena and Sam and Elisa. Thank you so much. And Ashley and Charlie. Too many excuses in this world. We must appreciate more that we do. Thanks for all your adorable, lovely angel. Thank you so much, Charlie, and absolutely agree. And Linda and Shane and Caroline and John, and thank you, Shane, and Lee, awesome of you to join me. Just really quickly before I jump out, Lucian, you often feel unworthy of love. I just wanted to tell you that every single one of us is completely 100% worthy and valuable. So, you know, we are love at our core, you know, and it is because we are driven by our two needs. Every single human being walking the face of the planet has these two deepest fears, which are, number one, I'm not enough. I'm not enough in some sort of way. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not growing enough. I'm not whatever enough, right? But at the end of the day, we have this deepest fear that if we're not good enough in some way, then we won't be lovable. So, you know, that fear of feeling unworthy of love is universal. Every one of us experiences that, myself included, everybody, even Tony, you know, every single person. And you have to go on the journey of really getting back to that. Like, you don't have to do anything or be any certain way in order to be worthy of love. But that is a journey. I would really recommend Lovability, the book by Robert Holden. Make sure that you pick that up and go on that journey of developing that self-love, Lucian. That, I believe, is like the Bible of self-love. I love that book. And quickly, Caroline, wish you were there. I wish you were here too. And Caden's here, and Michael, and thank you, and Ari. Awesome, guys. I got to jump out. I'm already late, and I think we're doing a bit of a block so I can finish off with you guys. But I am sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's extraordinary, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow and let you know everything that happens today. It's going to be a massive day, and thank you so much for joining me. Sending you all my love. See you guys tomorrow.